Since you're my wife, it's only natural for you to take care of my mother, right?
My husband pushes me to take care of my mother-in-law, as a matter of course. Right. It's disgusting that she doesn't take care of her mother-in-law in her position as a wife. My mother-in-law engages in insidious bullying, but mistakenly believes she can receive caregiving. I can't stand having my life further disturbed by this hopeless parent-child duo. I'll put an end to this family charade right away. My name is Michelle. Even after marriage, I'm still a career woman who finds fulfillment in my job. I married my husband 2 years ago, but we still don't have children. We both put a lot of effort into our jobs, as we still have a strong desire to work actively. We have suffered from it, and continue to work together. We've always prioritized work in our married life. Then one day, during a lunch break at work, I received a call from my mother-in-law, who lives nearby, saying she's not feeling well. Hello, Michelle. Mom, what's wrong? You have a fever all of a sudden? I just wanted to let you know that starting today, I'll be moving in there, okay? Huh? I couldn't believe what my mother-in-law was saying. Us living together? And starting today? No way, you must be joking. I haven't heard anything about this. Despite feeling anger towards my mother-in-law for suddenly bringing up such a thing, I tried to maintain a calm demeanor for the time being. Living together with you, Mom? Even if you suddenly tell me that, it's troublesome. It can't be helped, right? I fell and injured my leg on the way back from shopping. Or is there a problem? Do you not care about anything I feel, Michelle? No, it's not like that. We as a couple have our own life. Even if you decide to live with us, we're not at home during the day, you know. Michelle, it's just a matter of adjusting your work schedule, right? Why me? Or rather, can you discuss this with Timothy instead of me? However, what came out of my mother-in-law's mouth was unbelievable. What are you talking about? I've been talking to Timothy for 2 weeks now, remember? Huh? Has Timothy been informed? And for 2 weeks? Such a thing has never been mentioned to me. I have always been against living with my mother-in-law, and Timothy should know that. Anyway, I got Timothy's permission, and I'm heading there now. The key's under the potted plant, okay? Huh? Why would you? I confirmed it with Timothy, of course. Well, I've given you a heads up. For dinner today, I'd like pork chops. Thanks. Wait, Mom. Before I could stop her, she unilaterally ended the call. This is a joke, right? It can't be true. I hurriedly called my husband.
Hello, Michelle? Hey, tired, huh?
My husband's dumb voice over the phone makes me irresistibly angry. I opened my mouth and questioned him about the key I had just given him. I'm not tired. What on earth is going on?
Huh? What's with you all of a sudden? What do you mean, what's going on?
Don't play dumb. I just got a call from your mother. She said, I'll be living with you starting today. What does that mean? I haven't heard anything about this. Then with an,
oh,
my husband started explaining without any remorse.
That's right. Mom will be moving in with us starting today. She twisted her foot and fell during shopping. She asked to stay with us because it was difficult to live the same life as before.
I didn't hear anything about that. Why would she unilaterally decide without consulting me?
Well, it can't be helped, right? She lives alone and our house isn't that far away. She can still meet the friendly neighbors, and it's better if we take care of her here, right?
What? Is this guy seriously stupid? I was filled with the desire to yell at my husband, but I'm still at work. I suppressed my raising emotions and responded with a measured tone. You know, I've been saying this for a long time, right? I don't want to live with your mom because she's mean to me. In exchange for enduring the close distance living, you also promised that I wouldn't have to live with her, didn't you? Then, my husband sighed as if bothered over the phone.
Really? Michelle, you're so narrow-minded.
Huh? Narrow-minded? Why would you say that?
Because you are, right? Even though my mom is in this situation, you're still bad-mouthing her. Don't you think you should help her a bit?
What's that? Why do I have to be blamed for this situation?
Forget it. Anyway, can you please go home and take care of my mom?
Then why don't you go home early? I have overtime. I made it clear and hung up. Even after that, my anger didn't subside, and I was irritated throughout the afternoon. Although I worked overtime, the job didn't progress as I hoped. Reluctantly, when I returned home, my husband was already there. My mother-in-law, seeing me, "Oh, you finally came home? For a woman to abandon her household and work until this late? What a delinquent housewife." If I retort, it will become troublesome. Thinking so, I responded with a wry smile and a forced polite laugh. Apparently, my husband didn't like that attitude and he became irritated.
Hey, I told you to come home early today. Mom even made a dinner request, you know? And yet, why are you casually working overtime?
This parent-child duo always imposes selfish things on me. I'm tired from work. Even though I wasn't in the mood, I responded knowing it wouldn't be well received. What do you mean by casually working overtime? Do you know that my company is currently in a busy period? We're both putting effort into our jobs, aren't we? So why can you say such things so casually?
I understand, but today is about my mom moving in, you know?
That's why. I was told about it suddenly today. I have work and I can't easily adjust to these things. My husband prioritizes his mother over me, completely ignoring my feelings. Then my mother-in-law once again began to make irritating remarks. Well, isn't it embarrassing to shout so loudly in your position as a daughter-in-law? Always working overtime. Your emotions seem unstable. Timothy must be having a hard time with such a wife. Poor Timothy. This old hag, sitting in my house without permission? What is she even saying? I mean, she's claiming to have injured her foot, but she can walk perfectly fine. The bottom line is, she just wants reasons to live with my husband. And she simply wants to bully me. At that moment, I was convinced of it. Anyway, I'm busy with work right now, so I'll prioritize that. If you, Mom, need anything, please ask Timothy. As I conveyed this firmly, my mother-in-law and husband raised their eyes and began to protest.
Hey, Michelle, what's with that tone? Mom has an injured foot, you know?
Exactly. Michelle, you're the kind of person... You don't care about me at all, do you? Well, of course. I honestly couldn't care less. While I wanted to say this out loud, I endured it quietly. Mom, you can walk perfectly fine. There's no need for me to assist you, right? I'll handle the basic household chores as usual, but I won't rush home for your sake, Mom. In response to my statement, my husband raised his voice again.
Mom is still forcing herself to walk right now. Anyway, taking care of Mom is your responsibility. Got it? Caregiving is not just for now. You need to think about the future.
The idea of her forcing herself to walk. She approached me earlier with loud footsteps. And what does he mean by thinking about the future? Is he suggesting that I should be responsible for caregiving for my mother-in-law in the future? In the end, I ignored the two of them and went to sleep that day. The next day I prepared breakfast for everyone and my mother-in-law made a displeased face. What's this? It's too salty. Are you trying to get rid of me with excessive salt? I started again. My mother-in-law always finds fault with the dishes I make. My husband, too, took a bite and deliberately frowned.
Ugh, seriously, What's this? Michelle, are you trying to kill me and Mom?
I think the seasoning is the same as always. I said this in a small voice, and my mother-in-law glared at me. Don't make excuses. You're the daughter-in-law, so you should dedicate yourself properly for our sake. Both Timothy and I say the food is bland, so it's your responsibility to improve it, right? My husband also chimed in, proudly concurring.
Mom's right. From now on, you'll have to do household chores properly. We expect you to prioritize the job and caregiving over your job, okay?
Even though he usually eats my cooking without saying anything, he suddenly agrees with his mother and complains only when she's around. What a mama's boy. Seriously, my head hurts just thinking that this will continue every day from today. After that, they continued to act while ignoring my feelings. Not only did they complain about my cooking, but they also distanced themselves a bit just because I came home a little late. On days off, they imposed various chores on me throughout the day. Mentally, I'm reaching my limit. Just when I thought that, unexpectedly I learned a shocking fact. If this fact is true, my hope of being driven out of the house may come true. That evening, I set up a place for a conversation with them.
So, what's this about talking?
That's right. What's the deal? Do we have to waste our time to accommodate your convenience? My husband and mother-in-law are still complaining selfishly as usual. I couldn't take it anymore, so I cut to the chase early. I'm sorry, Mom, but could you leave? Huh? Both of them widened their eyes, staring at me. Huh? Not that. It's just that it's kind of hard to live together anymore, so could you leave? At my words, my husband exploded, shouting angrily.
What the hell? Why are you suddenly saying this? Asking my mom to leave? That's just terrible.
Well, she doesn't even need caregiving, right? She seems lively. Besides, you always complain about my actions. I think it's better for both of us to live separately. At this point, my husband's face turned bright red.
That's enough. If you can't take care of my mom, we're getting divorced.
In that moment, everything I had endured so far burst out. I'll get revenge on these two. I'll make them feel the pain. Divorce is totally okay. I looked directly into my husband's eyes and said, but don't regret it, okay? My husband, seemingly indifferent to my plan, took out the divorce papers. You're really prepared, huh? He chuckled at my words.
My mom has been telling me for a while. It's better to part ways with a wife who can't value family. Well, following her advice and getting these ready in advance was a good call. The divorce papers handed to me already had my husband's signature filled in. Watching this, my mother-in-law fluttered her hands towards me. Come on, just leave already. You're not my wife anymore. I packed my belongings and left the house, as instructed. Don't be reluctant to file just because you don't want to divorce me, okay? As I was leaving, my husband said this as a parting remark. Hesitating to file? Don't make me laugh. I'll personally go submit them right away. Well then, goodbye. I headed to my parents' house. Of course, I didn't forget to submit the divorce papers on the way. A few days later, out of the blue, I received a call from my ex-mother-in-law. Hold on, Michelle. What on earth have you done? Her tone was clearly frantic and distressed. Even over the phone, you could sense her fear. What's the matter, ex-mom? Oh wait, you're not my mom anymore. Who cares about that? What did you tell the neighbors? What do you mean? I just told them that I had endured constant harassment and decided to leave. What? Yes, my revenge was to thoroughly ruin their relationships in this neighborhood, which my ex-husband and mother-in-law were deeply invested in. Since the past, my husband and mother-in-law had many acquaintances, and almost everyone in the neighborhood was familiar with them. Naturally, after marrying Timothy, I became acquainted with the neighbors. One day, some lady in the neighborhood told me this story. Michelle, heard you started living with your mother-in-law? Oh yes, that's right. That's great.
You must have wanted to live together forever, right, Michelle?
Huh? What are you talking about? We just started living together because my mother-in-law got injured.
Injured? Her? You must be joking.
The neighborhood lady shook her head, saying,
No. During the day, she's always out walking or having tea with us. She's lively and well.
Huh? Is that so?
She seemed so happy, saying Michelle really wanted to live together, so I had no choice.
I see. My mother-in-law never had any injury from the beginning. On the contrary, she had told her neighbors that I had forced her to move in with me. She just wanted to play the role of the kind mother-in-law who is depended on by her daughter-in-law. So, when I told the neighbors the truth, they were shocked. They couldn't believe my mother-in-law could be such a terrible person.
What have you done to me?
Over the phone, my mother-in-law raised her voice while crying, and she continued to hurl abusive words at me.
You worthless woman. Because of you, all my neighborhood relationships have gone downhill. Take responsibility, you witch.
Against the barrage of vulgar language from my mother-in-law, I calmly informed her. By the way, I've recorded this conversation. I'll be sure to report it to the neighbors.
What?
Well then, goodbye, former mom.
Wait, what?
Ignoring whatever she was going to say, I hung up and blocked her calls. In the following days, when I shared the recorded conversation with the neighbors, they were indeed shocked.
I never thought she'd go this far.
It was a good call to end ties with her.
Michelle, thanks for letting us know. Take care. You've been through a lot. Thank you.
It seems my ex-mother-in-law has stopped going out lately because she's been getting cold looks and rumors, and everyone has distanced themselves from her. My ex-husband's workplace was nearby, and it seems he's also receiving disapproving looks within the company. He has successfully earned the title of the husband who bullied his wife with mother-in-law. Now it appears they are isolated, not only in the neighborhood, but also as a parent and child, making their lives difficult. Well, serves them right. On the other hand, I've been freed from the curse of my ex-mother-in-law and husband, allowing me to focus more on work. After a promotion, I now enjoy my days fulfilled. With no more hindrances, I plan to live my life to the fullest for my own happiness.